Man, oh man, it is looking so bad for Canelo. I was born ready. Alvarez. New information comes out that Canelo Alvarez requested to fight Avni Yildirim for the vacant WBC. We're going to talk about it. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button for the latest and greatest in boxing. Let's jump into it. The Athletic. Check them out. You got to have a subscription. I will link to their article. They have an interview with WBC. You guys see the title. WBC says Canelo Alvarez wasn't ordered to fight Avni Yildirim. He, quote, requested it. By Lance Pugmire. Canelo isn't being ordered to fight little-known Avni Yildirim next for the vacant WBC Super-Middleweight title. Instead, the WBC president, Mauricio Sulaiman, explained to The Athletic, this is what Canelo Alvarez wants. The WBC Board of Governors voted 36-1 in favor Tuesday morning to grant four-division champion Alvarez's request to fight mandatory contender Yildirim of Turkey. Alvarez, thanks to his designation as the WBC middleweight franchise champion, beat out others who sought to fight for the belt vacated Friday by former champion David Benavidez, who missed weight, and I documented that on my channel. This includes people like WBA super-middleweight champion Caleb Smith and David Benavidez himself, who came nearly 3 pounds over, missed weight. Alvarez, look. Oh, man, this is bad. Alvarez contacted the WBC and requested to fight Yildirim for the title, and that is absolutely one of the privileges he has having the franchise designation, Sulaiman said. The franchise tag puts the champion above every other fighter, and gives him the prerogative over any other fighter in the world to fight who he wants. Wow. Shocking. I believe it will happen this year. We are in the beginning process to see where it goes. Sulaiman said the WBC was contacted by Alvarez's trainer, Eddy Reynoso, who, functioning as the fighter's manager, sent in the request to fight Yildirim. Wow. This fight is being ridiculed, and for good reason, which we'll get into. Smash the like button. There's really no justification for this. So David Benavidez made a mistake, another one, full disclosure, missed his weight. And I'm not here to make a bunch of excuses, but I will give both sides to the equation. We are in a pandemic. I don't know how challenging that is to fighters in general to get their normal job done, like not being able to go into gyms for certain parts of the month and, just things like that. I don't know if access, you have to factor that in to some degree. And I'm not justifying, because Benavidez has twice lost his title for outside of the, realm of boxing, and not a fighter has beat him, but you got to factor that in. And as soon as the belt came in, the vulture himself, Canelo Alvarez, has decided to cherry pick, and everybody's talking about it. I predicted this. How are people mad at me when I predicted this? David Benavidez, look what he posted. Billy Joe Saunders posted this. It says, I didn't see Canelo Alvarez wanting the WBC when David Benavidez had it a week ago. Ha ha ha, WBC cherry picker. So this is bad, bro. I don't know what they're doing to Canelo Alvarez, his brand. Ever since he signed with DAZN, it's just looking crazy. But now we get the information that this was not the WBC alone, but they are complicit. We still going to talk about the WBC's involvement. They seem to cater to Canelo. Everybody is giving this poor feedback except for a couple man fans, and that's to be expected. Look at the IBO. This is a belt in the boxing game. WBC announced that this fight was, approved or voted for, and the IBO took a shot at it, said, hello, is this the police? I like to report a murder. Wow. Man, this is sad. Canelo is definitely a cherry picker. And the crazy part is he's been criticized by Mexican legends like Erik Morales, you see on screen. Erik Morales, Canelo fights big names when they are at the end. And there's been a ton of people like Nacho Beristain, Juan Manuel Marquez, Erik Morales, myself, new media, but there are Mexican legends that are saying the same thing. New media has been saying the same thing, and now you see why. This is the antics that we're getting from Canelo Alvarez. Now you look at Avni Yildirim. Some people don't even know who he is. He has a 21-2 record, right? He's not like extremely tall for super middleweight, 5'11", so he's not taller than guys at middleweight like Danny Jacobs, or he just moved to 168. He's not taller than Jacobs. He's not taller than Charlo, so it's not like exceptionally tall. His reach is shorter than Floyd, who fights at welterweight. He doesn't have no shocking KO percentage. He has 23 bouts, and his name is Mr. Robot. So Canelo wants to fight a robot. You see right here, his status says inactive, meaning he hasn't fought in a minute, right? And that's because his last fight was, guess what? You guessed it, a loss. He lost to Anthony Durrell, right? So he hasn't fought since that. So he's directly coming off of a loss. And that was in February 23rd last year, 2019. And this is who Canelo wants to fight. Bro, Canelo is destroying his rep. And then you look at the other guys that this Yildirim character has fought since being knocked out by Chris Eubank. Look, Chris Eubank knocked him out in 2017, right? They were ordered to fight. Chris Eubank knocked him out. You see that? KO 3 rounds. And since that, he hasn't really done much. Derek Edwards, he's a guy whose name was around, but, hasn't had any recent wins. He beat some guy named Ryan Ford. Look at this guy. Jose Antonio Rodriguez Silvencia. This dude had a record of 3-31. Y'all see that? 3-31-3. So he had 3 wins and 31 losses. This is who Yildirim has fought in between his Chris Eubank knockout. Wow. And then his next fight was Lolanga Mock, 42-14-1. And then he stepped up and fought Anthony Durrell. So the recognizable names that he fought, Chris Eubank Jr. and Anthony Durrell, he was knocked out. This is a bad look, man. This is a bad look. And again, the World Boxing Council, WBC, they always seem to cater to Canelo. Very predictable. I predicted it. I did a video yesterday. Look at the timestamps, people. Look at the timestamps. I predicted this whole moment. I said, man, Canelo did not fight David Benavidez, now wants Yildirim for the WBC belt. Keep in mind, this was before the Athletic article explaining it with the WBC. Look at the dates. August 17th. This was before the WBC 11 hours ago, August 18th. Confirmed it with what my suspicions already were, which happened to be dead on. Canelo, he might as well just retire, to be honest. Because he's clearly not even challenging himself with the names that people want to see him fight. You see this? And look, there's people like Sky Sports, they got to get their facts. Canelo Alvarez ordered to fight Yildirim by the WBC. But once again, you notice all these things that keep happening with the WBC, it looks so poorly and is met with such backlash that nobody wants to take credit for it. Like the franchise title. When the franchise champion came about, WBC said Lomachenko's team requested it. And Lomachenko did an interview on his YouTube. He said, nah, the WBC did it. So once again, that's how you know it's not good things for boxing, because no one wants to take credit. If it was something great, then everybody, if it was some innovative, creative endeavor, then everybody would want to take credit for it. But you see, nobody wants to take credit. The WBC is saying that Canelo Alvarez and his team, Eddy Reynoso, requested it. But then you have people, again, who are putting out articles and saying that this was ordered by the WBC. But the WBC themselves have cleared that up because they don't want to take the blame, but they're still going to get blamed because they keep doing this. They keep bending. So they've allowed Canelo to have clenbuterol in his system, took his side. Meanwhile, when Wilder and Glovegate comes out with Tyson Fury's gloves, a black fighter like Deontay Wilder, they say no investigation needed. And they said Tyson Fury is right and people are hating on him. listen, this is just going to lead to boycotts and, you know, people who aren't messing with the belts, the WBC or whatever sanctioning body is doing this. And it's sad because the WBC was once looked at as prestigious, the green strap. But now look how they treated Deontay Wilder. Look how they treated Franchon Cruz-Dezurn. They took forever to give black fighters their belts back or their due diligence in terms of investigations. But they're doing anything they can to stay in Canelo's good graces. This kid, David Benavidez, looks like a monster. Canelo's not fighting that monster for the WBC belt. They could have easily ranked David Benavidez and said the franchise champion, and boom, we got a mega fight on our hands. And DAZN should want that. Listen, mark my words. If DAZN pays Canelo what they're slated to pay him, they will be out of business. I promise you that. This fight is going double wood, and they'll be out of business. Mark my words. So I hope DAZN in this whole equation has some sense and they refuse or reject this fight, which is possible because we haven't heard anything from DAZN. But if I was DAZN, I wouldn't touch this fight with a 10-foot pole. Just go online. If you work for DAZN and you've seen this video, go online and look at what people are saying about this particular fight. So if you're trying to attract US subscribers, this ain't it. They're saying Canelo's the face of boxing. He's the face of cherry picking now. Listen, the gloves are off. It is what it is. We got to start speaking the truth and hold people accountable. The WBC needs to be held accountable. They keep doing these little things that seem to benefit a certain group of people or a certain demographic or certain particular fighters, but it doesn't look one and the same. Anybody mad at me, I don't care. The other thing is, how are you going to be mad at me? I predicted this. You see my tweet on the screen from yesterday. I said, so everybody wants to fight for the WBC super middleweight belt now that it's vacant, but they didn't want to fight David Benavidez the 2 times that he had that belt, including last September on the Sean Porter Spence card, all the way up until he lost it in August 2020. Now they want to fight for it. Unbelievable. Benavidez, that dude. A day later, this gets announced. Look who says the same thing that I've already been telling you. Man, I am the king of this boxing talk. And it all stems from just telling the truth. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Now he's saying the same thing. Calling him a cherry picker and saying he didn't want to fight Benavidez. I'd been told you that. So give me my flowers. Give me my props. But to find out that Canelo's team requested this and it wasn't ordered, it's a bad look. So you just see the WBCs, they're bending at the wheel and doing whatever Canelo wants. It says, quote, there was no way the WBC could put aside Yildirim again, Suleiman said. He deserves to be in this position. Yildirim was very competitive versus Darrell. If people don't follow the timeline, it's hard to understand. Suleiman said from Reynoso's contact with the WBC, quote, it is absolutely clear Alvarez requested this fight. So he's a cherry picker, bro. I don't care what any Canelo man fan tells me. This is what it is. He's looking for the path of least resistance, right? You have a guy in Caleb Smith who's a better option. He won the World Boxing Super Series, albeit he's not coming off of the best performance in his last fight with John Ryder, but he's an actual champion. He won the Ali Trophy and the World Boxing Super Series. So you can make that fight. But now you're switching gears. As soon as David Benavidez makes a mistake in his career and switches weight as I predicted, or misses weight, right? Like I predicted on the screen, now all of a sudden you switching gears. So let me get this straight. You were going to fight Billy Joe Saunders, right? Caleb Smith, and now it's gotten to the point of you want to fight Yildirim, right? Keep in mind, if you know your boxing, this is going to be a quick, fun ride. Caleb Smith beat George Groves in the World Boxing Series by stoppage. He knocked him out. You see right there? 7th round knockout. George Groves beat Chris Eubank in the World Boxing Super Series, right? Chris Eubank Jr., you see? And he beat him over the course of 12. And it was a convincing win, right? It was a convincing win. Meanwhile, you know, there's a little triangle theories. Chris Eubank, who lost to George Groves, who was stopped by Caleb Smith in the World Boxing Super Series, Chris Eubank actually holds a win over Avni Yildirim, and he stopped him in a brutal fashion. Chris Eubank is back at 160 because he said he was never a true 168 pounder. He just knew he had a style that could carry up, but now he's back at his true weight. So Chris Eubank says he's not even a true 68 pounder. He just went up there for opportunities with titles, and he stopped Avni Yildirim, right? Here's some more, but wait, there's more. You got Avni Yildirim, who later fought and lost to Anthony Durrell. And if you know your boxing, David Benavidez was the first to stop in his last fight Anthony Durrell, and I was at that fight. It was on the Errol Spence Sean Porter card. So David Benavidez been looking, he's on a tear. He knocked out Jalen Love. He knocked out Anthony Durrell, who had never been stopped. And then when he lost his belt on the scale, he the next day fought Romer Angulo, and he was the first to stop him. So he's on at least three knockouts in a row. He was a champion 2 times. Canelo never fought him. But now a guy like Anthony Durrell, shout out to my guy, who beat Avni Yildirim, right? He wants to fight Yildirim. And Benavidez beat him. So you could tell Canelo's cherry picking. Why didn't Canelo fight Benavidez when Benavidez had the belt? Then you wait for this. It's an opportunist moment. See, Benavidez, a 2-time champion, 2-belt champion. The whole time he had the belt, Canelo never even mentioned his name. Canelo is being called out. Look at this. You see the back tattoo? That's supposed to be Canelo. And you have David Benavidez at a throne. So he's been calling out Canelo. He said, it don't matter who's in front of me, I'll make them all bend at the knee. That's supposed to be Canelo, because you can see by the scripture on the shoulder blade, right? Canelo, you know, watch. Canelo back tattoo. Look, that's the same. That's it's the same scripture marks. So that was clearly a representation from David Benavidez. Look, a red-haired person bowing down with chicken scratch scripture marks. That was clearly a shot at Canelo. That was clearly. And despite being called out by David Benavidez and little depictions of Canelo, right, like that, Canelo ain't trying to see him. And Benavidez, look at this. Look at the boy. Look. Okay. So why doesn't Canelo fight him? That's a great fight. Look, called out Canelo, but he want to fight Yildirim. Cherry pick. And listen, the WBC is helping him facilitate it. He fails a drug test with clenbuterol, no problem. We'll just up the amount you can have in your system and back you publicly. But when it comes to a black fighter like Deontay Wilder, they don't back him publicly and say, Tyson Fury, Glovegate, we're going to look into it. They said, oh, you're ridiculous. You're stupid if you believe that. Franchon Cruz, another black fighter, she had to wait a month of Sundays because Alejandra Jimenez, a Hispanic fighter, failed a drug test, and she personally knows Suleiman, and they did everything in their power to back Alejandra Jimenez, Mauricio Suleiman, when she failed the drug test. And it's a shame what the WBC is doing, because they went from being the most prestigious. Alejandra Jimenez, look. So keep in mind, she failed a drug test. WBC president. So she failed a drug test, A and B sample, and the WBC president, Mauricio Suleiman, says, I believe Alejandra Jimenez heard testimonies of innocence, right? Same thing with Canelo, right? Canelo fails a drug test. So tell me what I'm missing. WBC pres backs Canelo dropping 175, right? And they also, look, WBC backs Canelo following failed drug test. I told you I can always pull it up. Look, they back him. They back him. He failed a drug test and they backed him. So it's not a surprise to me. I predicted this would happen, but it's a bad look. You know, Canelo, good luck, because this could also create turmoil for DAZN. They're saying DAZN tried to slice Canelo's pay in half for a fight with Caleb Smith during this pandemic. So if they wanted to take his pay from 36.5 million to 17 million or whatever, imagine what DAZN is going to be willing to pay for a lousier fight with a guy for a vacant belt with no type of real fan base. And every time he stepped up, he lost. This is just a terrible look for Canelo Alvarez, because even a guy like Caleb Smith, he's from the UK, so you could just say, oh, he's a real champion. He won the World Boxing Super Series fair and square. He's 6'3", so he's big. He's a knockout artist because he got a 70% knockout ratio. And DAZN was looking to break into the UK market with DAZN UK. So that lines up with a guy like Billy Joe Saunders or Caleb Smith, even though those aren't the biggest fights for Canelo either. But you can at least push that angle. How do you push a Avni Yildirim from Turkey? Do they have a DAZN Turkey? So DAZN might not even approve this fight because this is a worse fight than everything they wanted. Caleb Smith, they approved. Billy Joe Saunders, they approved. Triple G3, they approved. And Canelo's going all the way his own direction, going all the way left, trying to fight Avni Yildirim and going through the WBC. So DAZN, if they knew what was good for him, they need all the hits they can get. They shouldn't approve this fight. And if they do, like I said, if they want to give Canelo, they're having a legal standing, a standoff over Canelo's pay for a better fight like Caleb Smith. Why would they want to pay for this? This is just a terrible look. I'll be talking about this a lot. So I don't care if the haters are mad. You're just going to have to deal with that. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Until next video, is Ego signing off. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more sports. Get unlimited access to premium content with an ESPN Plus subscription. ESPN Plus offers a variety of content, including specials, behind the scenes, docuseries like Bruce Lee's Be Water, and much more. With an ESPN Plus subscription, you get access to a ton of classic archive fights and replays from boxing and the UFC. Big names like, hi, I'm Mike Tyson, come and watch my fight. Floyd Mayweather, easy work, I'm rich. And Manny Pacquiao, yes, it's up to my promoter, just to name a few. If that's not enough, you could get the ESPN bundle, which includes ESPN Plus, Hulu, and Disney Plus. All three apps, one low price. You don't want to miss out. Make sure you guys click that link in the description box of all of my videos. Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.